boycotting is not from the usul. It's an ijtihadi matter. It's from the nawazil. It depends on context. There's so many elements involved. Difference between Muslim countries, non-Muslim countries. Difference between understanding how many of these companies are actually involved versus how do we know that they're actually involved? Everything could be forged today. And I need some sort of verification, right? I need some sort of verification. So the worst case scenario, a Muslim decides not to boycott any of these brands that they've decided to boycott. So you want to disagree with them, you want to boycott on your own, Jazakallahu khairan.
Yeah.
And that should be the end of the discussion. There is nothing in Islam that obliges him to see eye to eye with you and to agree with you and to go along with you. And it makes it worse when you say that he's doing this for the love of coffee or love of burger. Like if I see somebody tells me, here's a burger or a Muslim dying, and if you eat this burger, then we're gonna shoot him. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, bismillah. like this is the simplicity of their mind, like single brain cell equation. Like, okay, the burger is gonna kill him, and then I'm doing it. You must be really feeble-minded to think that this is how it works. Like you really don't understand franchising or economy, or you don't understand what the long-term goal for a lot of these countries. It is not related to those little mini players, which if they were to be existent or non-existent, nothing will change on the ground. But then you feel good about yourself. They're like, Akhi, this is the least you could do. Because you tell them, look, you're living in a Western country, you're paying taxes to these governments that you're complaining about. Why don't you get out? Say, brother, I cannot get out. But this one, you could do without the coffee. Right? This is the bare minimum. All right, this is the bare minimum for you. I think the bare minimum for me is that you leave the country. Right? So even then, there's nothing that says that this is equated into the destruction. Rather, the budget for the destruction has been put in place. Now, whether these companies are actually involved or not involved, we don't work with speculation. And then in Muslim countries, there's a different spectrum of things, different layers of government authority that you don't enjoy. Muslims in America, Muslims in the UK, Muslims in Canada, Muslims in Australia, they don't understand the concept of actually an Islamic government, a ruler, authority. Sami'na wa ata'na, we listen and we obey. Fasma' wa ati', listen and obey. This concept is foreign to them, and they were raised upon democracy, free speech, liberalism, secularism, and they think that every Muslim should conduct themselves the way they conduct themselves. Every time they're upset, they go on the street and protest. Well, they make a little scene in the street, and if we don't behave the same way, then we're agents, sellouts. Yeah, Sheikh. If anything, we are sticking to the ahadith that tell you that no matter how bad these rulers are, right, you should still listen and obey bil ma'ruf. He's not telling me to disobey Allah. And so if he tells me to do anything, I'm going to comply, and I'm not going to go against him, and I'm not going to disobey him publicly or criticize him publicly, because that's actually part of Islam. What you're doing, Habibi, has nothing to do with Islam. This protesting of yours, marching in the street, is not from Islam. Your freedom of speech, the government allowing you to say whatever you want, even against the president, is also not from Islam. And almost everything that you're doing is not part of Islam. So here you are violating Islam on multiplicity of levels, and you're pointing the finger at the person who's actually following Islam, but because of your emotions being the dictators in your life and not submission to the Quran and the Sunnah, then I'm the bad guy, you're the good guy. Like you see, the foundations are so corrupt, and the people are so gullible that what people sell them this kind of this merchandise that is absolutely horrible, and they tell him this is the best, this is Gucci, this is the greatest thing in them, and they're like, oh, they're paying the above them and below them of money to buy a product that, wallahi, if they gave it to me for free, I wouldn't give it to a dog to wear. It's just we're worlds apart. Just at least hold back. My advice to them is, look, you don't understand. There are many dimensions that you don't understand. I give you the benefit of the doubt. So if you want to be cool and good, at least be quiet. Don't agree with me, but don't go on a campaign where every day you make a video, say Fulan is an opportunist, or he's worse than a dog and worse than a donkey. I've seen some of these du'at, so-called du'at, they lost they lost their mind in a video because they don't understand the bigger picture. And then their followers in the comment section, it's like a picnic, right? It's a field day. They're having a field day. Oh, fulan, memes of him. You know, they have obviously pictures of me with the Jerry curls of the Yahud and the Taghi of the Yahud. Me and both of us. Ya akhi, subhanallah. When I was warning against al Yahud wal Nasara in lectures 10, 12 years ago, the whole of a lizard, the hadith about Khaliful Yahud wal Nasara, I pray with my shoes on because the Yahud don't wear the shoes on. How do I become a Zionist now because of a Big Mac?
We don't even eat. I don't even eat.
I'm just saying. It's from Ajaib. This is from the eighth wonder of the world that we live today. And in spite of the clarity in the situation, do they ever interpret things in a good way, in a positive way, in an agreeable way? No. They're gonna, from whatever we say, they will take the worst interpretation, the worst explanation, and they will add whatever spices they want, and then they will make you out to look like the bad guy. So there's no
winning.
Start.